Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, there's always too much to do and not enough time? Like you're busy all day but still feel like you're getting nowhere? Don't worry, you're not alone, we've all been there. But here's the good news. There's a way to take control, feel less stressed, and actually enjoy your progress. That's where The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey comes in. This book isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter, focusing on what truly matters, and building habits that actually make a difference. In this video, I'll break down these 7 simple habits for you. You'll learn how to set clear goals, focus on what's most important, and build better relationships. So, if you're ready to feel more organized, more confident, and more in control of your life, stick around. Let's get started and take the first step toward becoming the best version of yourself, one habit at a time. The first habit, be proactive. This habit is all about taking responsibility for your actions and choices, instead of blaming others or your circumstances. It means focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. Let me break it down with a simple example. Imagine you planned a morning run, but it suddenly starts raining. A reactive person might get upset, blame the weather, and skip their workout. But a proactive person would think, okay, I can't run outside, so what's my next option? Maybe they'll work out at home or reschedule the run for later. Instead of wasting energy on frustration, they focus on finding a solution. Now, think about your own life. Maybe you're struggling at school or work. A reactive person might say, my teacher is too strict, or my boss never explains things properly. On the other hand, a proactive person would ask, what can I do to improve? They might ask for help, set clearer goals, or find ways to stay more focused. So how can you start applying this habit? Start by paying attention to the things you can control. When you're worried or stressed, ask yourself, what action can I take right now? For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by an upcoming exam, instead of panicking, you could create a study plan or tackle one small topic to build momentum. Another way to practice being proactive is to watch the language you use. For instance, instead of saying, I have to do this, try saying, I choose to do this. It's a subtle shift, but it reminds you that you're in charge of your choices. Now, let's be clear, being proactive doesn't mean life will suddenly become easy. It means you're choosing to handle challenges with a positive and solution-oriented mindset. When you take responsibility for your choices and actions, you put yourself on the path to real success. The second habit is begin with the end in mind. Have you ever started something without really thinking about where you want to end up? It's like trying to build a house without a plan. Imagine laying bricks with no idea what the house should look like. Sounds messy, right? Now think about studying for exams. If you study without a plan, jumping between chapters randomly, it's stressful and unproductive. But if you take a moment to think, what grade do I want? What topics need the most attention? Suddenly, you have a clear path. You focus on what's important, and your hard work pays off. This habit works for everything, not just school. Let's say you're planning a trip. If you don't know where you want to go, how will you book the right flight or pack the right things? But once you've chosen your destination, everything else falls into place. So, how do you use this habit? Start by asking yourself 2 simple questions. 1. What do I really want? 2. What steps will help me get there? It could be as small as saving for a phone, or as big as improving your health. Write it down and imagine how good it'll feel to achieve it. Then work backward and take small, steady steps toward your goal. Life isn't about being busy all the time, it's about making progress toward what truly matters. When you begin with the end in mind, every step has purpose, and you'll always know you're moving in the right direction. The third habit, put first things first, is all about focusing on what truly matters and letting go of distractions that waste your time. Imagine this, you've got an important exam tomorrow, but your favorite show just released a new episode. What do? Most people might say, just one episode won't hurt, and before they know it, they've binge-watched the whole thing. Studying becomes a last-minute, stressful scramble. But if you put first things first, you'd stop and think, What's more important, my exam or the show? You'd study first, knowing the show can be a reward later. It's a small choice, but it makes a big difference. Stephen Covey explains this using 4 categories. 1. Important and urgent, things like deadlines or emergencies. 2. Important but not urgent, activities like planning, exercising, or spending quality time with loved ones. These help you grow and achieve your long-term goals. 3. Not important but urgent, like interruptions or unnecessary meetings. 4. Not important and not urgent, like scrolling on social media or watching random videos. The problem? Most people spend too much time on the last 2 categories because they're easy and don't require much effort. But successful people focus on what's important, especially the tasks in the second category, the ones that aren't urgent but create real, lasting value. So, how can you start prioritizing? Ask yourself 2 simple questions. 1. What's the most important thing I need to do today? 2. Am I spending my time on things that truly matter? For example, if your goal is to stay healthy, prioritize cooking a nutritious meal or going for a run instead of scrolling through your phone. Or if you're working on a big project, break it into smaller tasks and tackle the most important one first. When you put first things first, you stop feeling overwhelmed and start feeling more in control. It's not about doing everything, it's about doing the right things at the right time. This simple shift helps you achieve more and feel less stressed every single day. So, what's your first thing today? Whatever it is, start now. The 4th habit, think win-win. This habit is about collaboration, not competition. It's about finding solutions where both sides feel satisfied. Let's start with a simple example. Imagine you and your friend both want to borrow the same book from the library, but there's only one copy. Now, the easy reactive approach might be to argue over it, or worse, try to grab it before they do. But what if you stopped and thought, how can we both win here? You could decide to share the book. One of you reads it first, and the other gets it next. That's a win-win. Nobody loses, and you're both happy. But here's the thing. Thinking win-win doesn't mean being soft or giving up on what you want. It's about balance. You stand up for your own needs, but you also value and respect the needs of others. It's a mindset shift that builds trust and stronger relationships. Now, think about this in a workplace setting. Imagine you're working with a team on a big project. Instead of competing for credit or trying to outdo your teammates, what if you focused on collaboration? What if you said, let's combine our strengths and support each other? Not only does the project turn out better, but your relationships with your team grow stronger too. And let's be real, winning together feels so much better than winning alone. So how do you bring this habit into your daily life? Start with these 2 questions. 1. How can we solve this so both sides feel good about the outcome? 2. What's a fair solution that benefits everyone? And here's the key. Listen. Truly listen. When you take the time to understand what the other person needs, it becomes so much easier to find a solution that works for both of you. Remember, life isn't a game where one person has to lose for the other to win. It's about lifting each other up. When you start thinking win-win, you'll notice how much better your relationships feel, at home, at work, everywhere. You'll stop focusing on me versus you and start focusing on us. So, the next time you face a conflict, pause and ask yourself, how can we both win? Because when you find that balance, life becomes more cooperative, more positive, and honestly, a whole lot happier for everyone involved. The 5th habit, seek first to understand, then to be understood. This habit is about listening, not just hearing words, but truly understanding what the other person is saying. Think about it. Most of us listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. For example, imagine your friend says, "I feel so stressed about school." A reactive response might be, "You just need to study more." But that doesn't help, does it? Instead, if you pause and ask, "What's been stressing you out?" you give them the chance to share their feelings. Maybe it's about deadlines or the pressure to perform. Just by listening, you help them feel heard and understood. Here's the magic. When people feel understood, they're more likely to listen to you in return. It's like building a bridge of trust that makes communication easier. So how can you practice this? 1. Active listening. Focus on their words instead of thinking about your reply. Say things like, "Tell me more," or "I see what you mean." 2. Don't interrupt. Sometimes staying quiet and letting them finish is the best way to show respect. 3. Check for understanding. Say, "So you're overwhelmed because of deadlines. Did I get that right?" This shows you're paying attention. When you listen first, you create better connections, build trust, and avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. And here's the best part. Once you've shown that you truly care, people are much more open to hearing your perspective too. So next time someone is sharing something, pause and really listen. You're not just hearing their words, you're showing them that they matter. And that small act can strengthen relationships in ways you never imagined. The 6th habit, synergize. Synergize is all about, it's teamwork at its best, the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine you're working on a school project. One person is amazing at research, another is great at design, and someone else is a confident presenter. If everyone tries to do everything alone, the project might turn out average. But if you work together, letting the researcher dig into the facts, the designer make things look great, and the presenter deliver the message, you create something incredible. That's synergy. And it doesn't just happen in school, it happens everywhere, in families, workplaces, even friendships. When you value people's differences instead of trying to do everything yourself or expecting everyone to think like you, that's when real collaboration begins. Here's the thing, synergy isn't about forcing everyone to agree or work the same way. It's about celebrating differences and using them to your advantage. Think of it like a fruit salad. An apple, banana, and orange are great on their own, but mix them together, and you've got something even better because they complement each other. So, how can you practice synergy in your own life? First, celebrate differences. Instead of judging someone for doing things differently, ask, "What can I learn from them?" For example, if your friend is super organized and you're not, watch how they plan and see if you can use some of their methods. Second, be open to ideas. When brainstorming with others, don't dismiss ideas that seem strange. Sometimes the oddest idea, when combined with yours, leads to something brilliant. And third, focus on teamwork. Ask yourself, how can we work together to create the best result? Instead of competing, support each other. Whether it's a group project, planning an event, or solving a problem, synergy happens when you collaborate instead of working in silos. When you synergize, you're not just creating better results, you're building stronger relationships. You're proving that together, we're stronger than we could ever be alone. So, next time you're in a team or a group, don't just think, "What can I do?" Ask, "What can we do together?" And the 7th habit, sharpen the saw. Now, what does that mean? It's all about taking care of yourself, your body, mind, heart, and soul, so you can stay at your best. Think of it this way. If you were cutting down a tree with a dull saw, would you keep sawing endlessly, or would you stop to sharpen the blade? Obviously, you'd sharpen it because it makes the work easier and faster. That's exactly what this habit teaches us. Don't burn out. Take time to recharge. Let me share an example. Imagine you're preparing for an important exam. You've been studying for hours straight, trying to cram as much as possible. At first, you're focused, but after a while, your brain feels like mush, and nothing's sticking. You're frustrated, right? Now, what if you took a 10-minute break to stretch, drink some water, or just step outside for fresh air? When you come back, your mind feels clearer, and you're ready to focus again. That's the magic of sharpening the saw. Stephen Covey breaks this down into 4 areas we need to nurture. 1. Physical. This is about taking care of your body. Simple things like eating nutritious food, getting enough sleep, and moving your body. Even a short walk or a few stretches can make you feel more energized. 2. Mental. Keep your mind sharp. Learn something new, solve puzzles, or read a good book. Instead of endlessly scrolling on social media, why not spend 10 minutes watching an inspiring video or reading something that uplifts you? 3. Emotional. Take care of your heart. Spend time with loved ones, call a friend, or even do something small that makes you happy, like listening to your favorite song or watching a funny video. 4. Spiritual. This is about connecting with your inner self. Whether it's through prayer, meditation, journaling, or even just sitting quietly in nature, this is your chance to reflect and reconnect with what truly matters to you. So, how do you start sharpening your saw? It's simple. Schedule small moments of self-care. Even 15 minutes a day for exercise, reading, or meditation can make a huge difference. Listen to yourself. When you feel tired or stressed, pause. It's okay to take a break. It actually makes you more productive in the long run. Start small and build consistency. Maybe today, drink a little more water or read a few pages of a book. Small steps lead to big changes. So, here's a quick question. What's one small thing you'll do today to sharpen your saw? I hope this video helped you and gave you some useful ideas. This year can be your year to achieve big goals, one habit at a time. If you want to learn more, you can find the book link in the description. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and tell me your favorite habit in the comments. And make sure to subscribe for more helpful videos. See you in the next one.